Hello class, this is just a quick video to walk you through what you should look for as you read the City University of New York Student Bill of Rights. So this list that you can find in our weekly folder outlines the Student Bill of Rights as it was established in the New York State Education Law effective 2015. So this list here is a list of all the rights that you as CUNY students already possess. So one of the things to look for, all right, the way that this is written is, and this is very common if you read the US Bill of Rights, is that you have a lot of clauses that add together. All right, so in the sense where we have semicolons, as you read this, note that all of these apply to any sort of issue surrounding the student rights. So think of them all as uh, individual items in a very long list. You know, when you have to go to the grocery store, you say, I need this, 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 and this. You're making a long list of items that you need. Think of this as the grocery store list that people developed that said students should already have these rights. So you as a CUNY student already have these rights. And one of the key things as you should read is when you create your own rights, you don't want to double up stuff that already exists on this list. So let's take a quick look. We won't read the whole list, but we can look at a few key examples to give you a sense of things that are already provided that you shouldn't have to do. So if we start at the beginning, all right, these first three groupings, all right, are all about how a student has the ability to respond if something happens on campus, especially something that we could consider a crime. Uh, Sexual violence, stalking, domestic violence, uh, any form of crime, you as a CUNY student have the right to make a report to law enforcement, not just CUNY security officers, but law enforcement. Right? Uh, you should have disclosures of domestic violence, stalking, sexual assault treated seriously, which means if a student discusses that with a counselor or professor, they are what are called mandated reporters, in that it is our duty as employees of CUNY, if a student says to a counselor or success coach something that is a criminal issue along these lines, that we should report it. But also, students have a decision on what they want to participate. So anything that could be considered a crime, students have the ability to make their own decisions on whether or not they want to talk about it, who they want to talk about it. They can't be forced to talk about it from the university. So note that this grouping here, in terms of crime, all right, are all talking about things that would be crimes outside the university. These do not fall within the purview of what we might call academic dishonesty. So these are, crimes that any person, if you did them in the street, could be reported to the police to face criminal charges, just as if you did them in a CUNY classroom. So remember, so far we have not read anything that talks about what you might call academic dishonesty, cheating, plagiarism, copying work, anything like that is not covered so far within this first 5 or so student rights that focus on crimes. All right, remember, they're talking about crimes. So as we continue down to crimes, all right, we have any sort of issues that not only do students have support from the institution, right, but students also have report to be protected from retaliation from the students. Uh, Essentially, what that means is that uh, the any individual campus amongst CUNY should not retaliate to students who would make a claim about any sort of crime, sexual assault, sexual harassment, intimidation, something like that. And the reason that this clause is in there is that, as we should know, most colleges do not like bad press. Something as serious as outlined in the Student Bill of Rights would make the news potentially. So students need to be protected from any sort of retaliation from within this institution and any sort of retaliation that might occur uh, from other students, bullying, harassment, and so forth. So if a student reports an issue of a crime, right, students also have uh, the ability to have their choice of an advisor or person within CUNY to assist them in the report that they would make and to assist them through any issues that might happen within CUNY. So essentially, it's if a student was going to report a crime that happened on the campus, they would have the ability to have an advisor from CUNY of their choice to help talk them through there, to be in there when they would be discussing it with security officers. So that's the last thing. And then finally, uh, that no civil rights or religious rights would be interfered with in the criminal investigation. So lastly, as the university worked with most likely law enforcement to investigate the incident that would have happened or the incident that occurred, they can't violate anybody's human rights and civil rights, especially those already listed in the U.S. Bill of Rights, nor can they interfere with the practice of somebody's religion. So if a student had certain times throughout the day when they needed to engage in prayer, for instance, even if they were being questioned about the incident, they should be allowed to do that. You can't violate any of their religious institutions. So as you read through this list, one of the things that it really focuses on as we end here is notion of student safety, protecting students from criminal activities, violent criminal activities, discrimination, and so forth. So what you'll see here is a lot of the things that you might think of as student rights, things involving schoolwork, attendance, academic dishonesty, grading, uh, food, amenities within the college, within here is not provided to you as a city university a student right. All of these areas that would apply to life at the college are areas on which you can now go in and create your own student right that you feel could be amended and added to this document as something that should be important for all CUNY students. And that's the key thing to remember. As you discuss and think about what rights students should have, you should always remember a few things. They cannot invalidate the rights of other students, they cannot invalidate the rights of professors, and they cannot invalidate the rights of staff. We are a college community. For a student bill of right to work, it has to be fair to everyone who has a stakeholder claim to this community. So, for example, oftentimes students will say, I think everyone should always earn a B. That would not be a good student right because it invalidates those students who would get A's. There would be no way to differentiate and make those student work feel important if everyone just got a B. So as you think of the student bills that you're going to write, the Student Bill of Rights, the one that you need to write for discussion board number 8, remember that you need to make sure you're able to explain why it would be fair for all students, why it would be fair for professors, and why it would be fair for staff. Good luck, have fun, and I look forward to reading what you feel should be a student right for all students in the City University of New York.